solihullradio.com.
Thank you very much for downloading this featured content podcast from Solihull Radio. In the studio today, we have Mr. Charlie Fogarty MBE. If you have followed Charlie's story and his life journey, you might already know a little bit about what we're going to talk about in this particular interview. But if you would like to download some featured content from Charlie, keep an eye out on our podcast on demand page, and you can get some of the snippets of information and positivity that Charlie is going to talk about today. Charlie, tell us a little bit about what's going on for you, because I know after this interview you're straight off to Northern Ireland, aren't you?
Yeah, well, 8:30 meet tomorrow at the airport, at Belfast George Best Airport.
Yeah.
And we're flying to Barcelona to play in a international tournament.
Wow.
Which I hope we do better than we've previously done.
Okay. So if you have had a look at Charlie Fogarty's webpage, tell us a little bit about your journey, Charlie, because you've had probably one of the hardest times that you've now recovered from, and you're a survivor now, aren't you? So tell us a little bit about what happened.
Well, on the 17th of March 2012, I was hit by an oncoming car while I was crossing the road, and I spent a total of 10 months in hospital learning to walk, talk and do all the basic tasks again, washing myself, brushing my teeth, and now I'm back on the straight and narrow, if you like. I'm a motivational speaker to others, because all I love to do in my life is help others. I mean, I believe that was our sole purpose in life. What else could we have possibly been put on this planet to do other than help others?
And your development from 2012, can I ask you, how old were you in 2012, please?
15.
So you were 15 years old, you were crossing the road, and unfortunately you were hit by a car.
Yeah.
And that was it then. In terms of injuries, what did it do there and then for you?
It left me with a diffuse axonal brain injury.
Right.
Which my parents were told, because I was in a coma at this stage.
Wow.
That my parents were told by the surgeons and doctors that most people don't recover from this accident.
Right.
So, of course, they were crying and
devastated. Yep.
But then, my dad, Mark Fogarty, stood up and just went, "No, this will not be the end of Charlie." And ever from that day, I've learned that it won't define me. Nothing will. Because my motto, anything is possible.
People can find out and contact you via your website and your team that's behind you. Have you got a big team? Your folks, your parents are around supporting as well?
All my family. And then, funnily enough, because my accident happened at a crucial stage, when I was in my last year at secondary school, I've still kept in touch with many of my school friends.
And did you go back, because presumably that was your GCSE year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Now, I didn't actually take any of my GCSE exams.
Right.
I got my predicted grades, which were very good.
Excellent.
And so I was happy about that.
Good, yeah.
But obviously not happy that the injury occurred.
Sure.
Because I would rather my old life than my new life. I know that might sound weird.
Yeah.
But maybe not now, because in my new life, I'm an MBE. I've been recognised
I know.
by the Queen. And
all the work you've done.
I know.
In some ways, that was your journey, wasn't it? That was the path.
It was. And my granddad, who may or may not be listening to this, because I did tell him, but my granddad, who did come into hospital nearly every day to see me, he said he believes that everyone's born with a blueprint.
Okay.
He thinks that this was meant to happen to me, as bad as that sounds.
Mm.
But he knew that, well, he didn't know, but he thought that something like this would happen. But I'd survive, and then I would help inspire others to be the best versions of themselves they can be.
Brilliant.
Which is all I hope.
Can I ask you a question about that time when you were recovering?
Yes.
When you were in your coma in hospital, did you have any awareness of what was going on, looking back?
I was in a coma for 4 months in the Birmingham Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And I didn't have a Scooby-Doo what was happening. But then, because I had my birthday while I was in the coma, I turned 16.
Yeah.
I was too old for the Children's Hospital, so I got transferred. My parents fought to get me to the best place possible, and I went down to Surrey for a further 6 months, where I was in an induced coma, which is a type of coma, but I had like a more awareness of what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could you hear people and things like that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But I just had no way of telling them what I wanted to do and how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So it was a very frustrating time.
I bet. I've always wondered if people have awareness in recovery of what's going on. So motivational speaking and football, because you were a very talented footballer prior to your accident, and you've continued that now after your recovery, haven't you?
Yeah. I love how you say very talented, because believe me, I was.
I know. I've done my research.
I was all right. Some might say I was better than all right.
Okay.
Some might say I was worse, but it's opinionated, isn't it?
Of course.
Football is an opinionated sport. But anyway, yes, I was a, if you like, talented footballer before. And after my accident, I now play for Northern Ireland cerebral palsy football team, and I've played in 2 World Cups and 1 European Championships.
Fantastic. That is amazing. And you're, like you say, you're off to meet up with the rest of your team in Northern Ireland tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah,
so when you come back in and we talk about your story in depth, and we listen to some of the motivational conversations you've had for your podcast, people will be able to download this particular interview now as a little teaser to that. Could you give us one sort of line from one of your speeches, just to get them in the right frame of mind for listening to the Charlie Fogarty MBE podcast?
All right.
Go for it.
No matter how hard or difficult the challenges you may face in your life or career, you must always have hope and determination. Hope that things will get better, and determination to fight against the odds. In your careers, you will have days when you struggle, days when your body is aching and you don't feel like training or working hard. But if you keep persevering, you will be surprised at what you can achieve. I know I am.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for joining us on this very short interview today. And like I say, if you want to listen into one of Charlie's motivational talks and some more information about the injury and how he's recovered, come and join us on the on-demand section and via our social medias here at Solihull Radio. Thanks for joining us today, Charlie.
Thanks for having me.
You're listening to Solihull Radio.